Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nani. For today's video, I'm gonna be doing the beginning of the year book tag. This was created by Larissa or Larry Reads. I love her so much. I watch her videos all the time. I saw that she posted this a few days ago and I immediately knew that I wanted to recreate it. I'll leave the video she did linked down below so that way you can check it out. I'll also have all the questions in the description below. It's about 24 questions, so let's just get to it. First one is, how many books are you planning on reading? So for this year, the goal that I set for myself is 75 books total, and I also want to read 5 non-fiction books. Next question is the most anticipated releases of the year. For this one, I have about 4, and I also have a video with my full 2024 TBR, or the books that I would like to get to this year. But for this one, I went with Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey, The Spy and I by Tiana Smith, The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson, and the last one is the 3rd book in the 4th Wing series, or the Empyrean series. I haven't heard anything about that 3rd book or when it might come out, but I'm really excited to continue that series for sure. Question number 3, a book on your physical TBR you probably won't ever read. For this one, it was tough because I'm the type of person that when I do buy a book, it's very rare when I have a book that I buy and I don't read it for a long time, because I either end up unhauling it immediately if I notice that I'm probably not gonna read it or get to it anytime soon, or I just read it. I chose Happenstance by Tessa Bailey, and I also chose Give Me More by Sarah Kate, and the only reason I picked this two is because it's kind of like the same trope, which is why choose, and I don't know if this trope is for me. I did start reading Happenstance by Tessa Bailey last year and I immediately got put off. So I DNF'd it very early. I just couldn't seem to get into it, so I don't know if this trope is for me. I have been liking the books in this series by Sarah Kay, the what's it called, Salacious Players Club. This one is the why choose trope, and not sure if I'm going to enjoy it just because I really didn't like it on this one. Never say never, you never know, but that's why I chose this too for that one. Number 4 is a new genre you'd like to try more of. This is exciting because this is one of my goals that I had for this year. I wanted to explore more genres, and the top 2 that I think I'm gravitating more towards are fantasy romance and historical romance. And going off of that question, the next one is, what book made you want to try this genre? So for fantasy romance, I went with 4th Wing because it was the first fantasy book that I actually read and really enjoyed, and not just read, but it didn't take me more than 3 to 4 days. For romance, that's pretty normal for me, but when it comes to like fantasies, I've tried so many different books of fantasy that I just wasn't getting into. This one, I just ate it up, so I really want to try some more fantasy romance. Give me some recs down below. That's the one I went with for that. And then for the historical romance, I chose Divine Rivals because I'm still not sure if this counts as a historical romance. It makes sense to me that it's a historical romance just because of what the plot is and how it's written. So if this is a historical romance and there's more historical romance like this, that's another genre that I would like to explore more. Next question is a book you're most likely to reread. For this one, I went with The GOAT for me, which is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I've reread this one like 3 times already, so I'm probably gonna pick it up again at some point this year. I just love this book. It's one of my OGs for me. One of the books that started my not reading journey, but just like made me fall in love with reading, because I used to read a lot before and then I just kind of like stopped, and then I picked this one up again. It just sparked that passion again for me. So I'm probably gonna add this one to my rereads for this year. And then I also chose Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey because this is one that I read 2 years ago, so I want to say. I kind of forgot about it. I really enjoyed it. I remember I was looking back through my reviews and the ratings that I've given some books, and I get this one between 4 and 5. I kind of want to go back to it and do a reread, see if it's still a 4 and 5 for me or 5 stars. It's a best friend's sister, which is one of my favorite tropes. Whether it's best friend sisters or brother's best friend, that's usually my go-to for romance. So I definitely want to add this to my rereads as well. Next question is a book you wanted to get to in 2023 but didn't, so it's a priority in 2024. I chose Ricochet by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I started this series. It's the Addicted series, and I really enjoyed the first one. It wasn't like an end-all be-all for me, but I did really enjoy it, and I do want to continue the series. It's like a 9 or 10 book series, so it's going to be great. And the next book in that series is Ricochet, so I want to see if I can get this one read this year, so that way I can continue reading that series. And then I also chose King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This is a series also that I wanted to immediately read after I read the Twisted series, because I loved the Twisted series. My favorite book from that one was Twisted Games and also Twisted Lies. I believe King of Wrath is the guy from Twisted Lies series. I mean, it's interconnected, so it's from the same series or the same world, but wanted to get to this one and I just didn't. I got distracted with the whole Fourth Wing, Iron Flame hype, and I kind of put this one in the back burner, but I'm really excited to get to this one this year. I also would like to read some Emily Henry books because I have quite a few books by her and I've heard many great things about her writing, so I want to add that to my 2024 TBR also. Next question is a series you want to read this year. For this one, I chose two. It's gonna be no surprise when I show you them, but it's going to be ACOTAR and Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. ACOTAR has been quite a feat for me. It's not the first time I've tried to read it, but I am determined to read this book. I just need to know. And then for Throne of Glass, I think I want to start Assassin's Blade first because I've heard that it might spoil some things, but that is also a good setup for the whole series in general. And I think for me, not being like a fantasy reader as much, would be a good idea to just kind of have the story laid out for me as a whole or in general, and then go into the next books and kind of like already know what to expect, kind of. Let me know what you recommend though, if Assassin's Blade would be a good idea or maybe it's too spoilery to start with. Next question is an author you've never read before but want to try this year. For this one, I want to be my girl Ali Hazelwood. I've never read anything by her, so I don't know why I called her my girl. I've heard amazing things about her. She has a lot of books out, and I also own a lot of books from her, so I don't know why I haven't read anything by her yet, but she's the one that I really want to get to this year for sure. Then number 10 is the total opposite, and it's an author you're probably not going to read more of this year. For this one, I didn't know what to say because again, I do on hauls quite often and I donate books and stuff, so I don't really have authors that I'm just like not gonna read any of your books. So I asked my husband, like, I don't know what to put for this question. I don't know if I even have an answer. And he was just like, well, what about Colleen Hoover? I mean, it makes sense because nothing against her. It's just I don't really gravitate towards her book. I have read, back when I was in high school, I did read Hopeless by her, and I think there was another one, maybe Someday, and I really enjoyed during that time. But right now where I'm at in my reading journey and just life in general, I don't really see myself picking up her books, but also never say never because who knows what can happen from hi buddy, give me some cuddles. So who knows, maybe I'll end up picking one of her books. Maybe give me some recommendations of some Colleen Hoover books that you love, and I don't know, I'll see if there's something that I would add to my TBR. Next question is a popular book you want to read, and for this one I went with Killer Instincts by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Recently read The Naturals by her and loved it and immediately had to get the second one in the series. I can't wait to get into this one. I love psychology and I also love like police type TV shows. When I heard that this one is similar to Criminal Minds, I was kind of skeptical because I was like, how would you put that in like book form? I guess I can't confirm. It's literally like watching an episode of Criminal Minds but in book form, so I'm definitely gonna get to this one this year. Next question is an unpopular book that you want to read. I don't think it's an unpopular book. The only reason I chose it because I haven't really seen people talk about it, and when I went into Barnes & Nobles the other day I saw it and I gravitated towards it, but I haven't seen it anywhere else or again people talk about it. That one is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boys. Look at that cover. Like, that cover is beautiful. First of all, that's a lot coming from me because I'm not really a pink lover, but this cover is beautiful. I gravitated towards the book because of the cover, so that says a lot. This one just sounds really cute. It's about this gamer boy and then this girl that wants to be on Broadway. It's fake dating and it just sounds cute. So let me know if you read this, if you enjoyed it. Next one is an audiobook you want to listen to. I'm not really an audiobook person. I need something that can keep me focused, and when it comes to audiobooks and podcasts, I get unfocused very quickly. So there are times where I put an audiobook and literally I literally get through like 5 or 6 chapters and I would have to restart it because I did not pay attention to what was being read. I just don't do audiobooks at all, but if I were to get into an audiobook or get an audiobook for a book, it would be the Akatar one, because I think there's an Akatar one that's like acted with different voice actors, so that sounds pretty interesting, and I think that would be one that I think would keep me interested in it. Next one is a book you want to read based on the cover. So this was really interesting because we actually got it because of the cover, and when I say we, I mean my husband and I, because we were browsing to Target because they recently had like a buy one get one, and we have Fourth Wing PTSD. When the first edition of Fourth Wing came out, we saw it at Target. I immediately picked it up, and then for some reason we didn't end up getting it, and man did we regret that decision. After we kind of realized what was happening with that series, the book just disappeared from everywhere. We ended up getting the one without the spread edges, which is fine, but it would have been nice to have the one with spread edges. So the moment we saw this one, we saw the spread edges as well. We were like, yeah, we're getting this one. We're not gonna have another Fourth Wing fiasco. That one is Sanctuary of the Shadow by Aurora Asher, and look at this spread edges. Like, tell me you wouldn't see that in a shelf and you wouldn't gravitate towards it. This one, I have no idea what it's about, but from what I can tell from the cover, it's about a circus, I want to say, and magic and darkness. So next one is a book to TV adaptation you're excited for. I think there's quite a few things that are being made into TV shows. I think even the Good Girls Guides to Murder one is also going to be like a movie or a TV show. I didn't pick that one though because I haven't read it yet. I'm hoping to get to it this year. For this question specifically, I chose Fourth Wing because I did see somewhere that they're looking into making it a TV show, which would be amazing. I think that one will do well as a TV show more than like a series of movies. Or is it a movie? Anyways, I'm excited to see whatever they do for Fourth Wing. Moving on, the next one is something bookish you want to start doing this year. So for me, I want to go on more reading and coffee dates, whether that means with my husband and my daughter, or by myself, or with some friends, because I am a very indoors person, meaning that I like to be in my space, especially after a full work week. I just want to be in my house, in my space, and just like read and do things that I enjoy. I would really like to do more outside reading, but I would really love to go more like reading days instead of just like going out to Barnes and Nobles, buying the books and come back. Like actually spend time at the bookstores and read a little bit, get a coffee, a pastry, or whatever. On the opposite end is something bookish you want to stop doing this year. Putting myself in like a box. What I mean by that is being tied to a TBR, so like monthly TBRs or whatnot. I'm not a TBR person. I set them as guidelines of books that I've been looking forward to reading, but I don't like having a TBR determined those are the only books that I'm going to be reading, because I'm a mood reader through and through. There's nothing I can do about that, no matter how much I've organized myself, no matter how many lists, and no matter how many books I want to get to in each month. I'm just gonna pick whatever I feel like reading. That's just something that I learned about myself, and I've tried to go against it and do the opposite and kind of set TBRs and kind of keep reading from my TBR, and it just doesn't work for me. It actually makes me go into a reading slump. No TBRs for me. You're going to see probably books that I'm like hopeful to get into or I'm excited to get to in the month. But it's not going to be, these are the books that my TBR. These are the only books that I get to read this month. Next question is a 2024 bookish goal. So I actually have a full video of my 2024 goals, and I have my reading goals, and I also added some lifestyle personal goals in there, so feel free to check that out for more. But for this one, I ended up going with complete challenges or book tags because I want to have fun this year. I want to challenge myself. I want to see what I'm able to get accomplished, how many books I'm able to read, 24-hour challenges. I'm really excited to see what challenges I tackle and have fun. Next question, a 2024 booktube goal. I recently started my booktube, so I have a lot of goals for it, but I think the main one I'm focusing on right now is consistency, just making sure that I continue to post and continue to film and upload and all that at a consistent rate that works for me. I first started wanting to do 2 videos a week, and that just, with a full-time job and a newborn back then, it was just a lot, and it just didn't work for me. So then I backtracked, and I just said to myself, just upload once a week, enjoy the process, and just have fun with it. So consistency is the word and the goal that I have for this whole year, and obviously growth, but I feel like I gotta work on consistency first so that the growth comes. Next is a 2024 non-bookish goal. So for this one, I went with self-confidence and being kind to myself, because I'm very into my thoughts, and there are times where my thoughts take over and they're not pretty. I really want to make an effort in being kind to myself and just self-confidence. When I speak, I want to be confident in what I'm saying and walking with my head held high instead of like looking down, looking people in the eye when we're having a conversation instead of like looking everywhere else so I don't have to look them in the eye. Very vulnerable things, but I think it's going to help me in the long run, and I can't wait to see who I become in that process. We are almost done, but next one is describe how you want 2024 to go in one word. I can throw out many different words, but just choosing one, it's challenging. I think I'm gonna go with surprising / exciting, because I want to see what 2024 has to offer. It's been a tough few years, so I'm really excited with starting my booktube and reading a lot more this year. I want to see what happens. Like, I just want to be surprised. Next question is booktube creators that inspire you. I have so many booktubers that I love and I enjoy, and they inspire me every single time. Some of them are Larry, I have Sarah, Caroli, Destiny, Haley, JC, Hallie, Katie, Alexa, and Steph. Those are all the ladies that I love watching pretty much on a weekly basis. They inspired me to start my booktube, so I thank them for making their videos and being themselves, and yeah, just inspiring. Last but not least, something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a book account. I recently started. I don't have a lot of experience, so I can't give you that type of feedback or opinion, but what I will say is just press record and have fun. That's all I've been doing. I've been pressing record and I've been having fun. Also, be yourself. At first, when I started, I felt like I have to read all the books that all these booktubers are reading, and read like 20 books a month so that way I can have something to talk about. But just be yourself. I realized that I was trying to be someone I wasn't instead of just being myself. So press record, have fun, and be yourself. Well, that's it. That's all the question and today's video. And I also want to say thank you to Larry for creating this tag. I just love her. I love her videos. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you'll have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.
You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a killer dragon for me.